Hi everyone, you reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with a quick video on Mary Cosby from, should we say formerly from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So Mary recently decided not to show up for the 3-part reunion. She was a little pissed. Why? Because during the season, she was accused of being racist. And also there's been accusations and rumors going on about her church possibly being not a church, but her running a cult. So she didn't want to deal with those questions. She didn't want to be in the hot seat. She didn't want the fire to come anywhere near her. So she decided not to show up. Of course, not showing up pissed off everybody. It pissed off Andy. It pissed off the executives. And why? Because if she would have showed up and they were able to ask her those particular questions, they know that reunion would have been fire. It would have been reunion gold. Just like they had reunion gold when Erica showed up and everybody was glued to their TV, waiting to get answers about her and her estranged husband relationship and everything he was being accused of. And that's what Mary should have did. She should have just came to the reunion and pulled a Erica Jane. Really, although Andy promised us he was going to ask Erica the hard and tough questions, we got zero, and I mean zero answers to anything. We just got a whole bunch of the same thing that we experienced during the season. That's all we got at the reunion, and they dragged it out for 3 episodes. So Mary should have thought about it. She probably could have survived it, but we can understand, I guess, somewhat why she didn't go, because the money she left on the table wasn't really a lot in terms of Housewives money, okay? So with the other franchise like Roa, Beverly Hills, and maybe some other ones, the ladies get paid, okay? But it seems like for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Bravo nickeled and dimed them, and their salaries were very low. So they're saying that it was easy for Mary not to show up to the reunion because she left pennies on the table. And I'm not saying pennies in terms of all of us are concerned, but pennies in the Bravo Real Housewives franchise world. It's pennies, okay? Now, Mary Cosby, this article is from Reality Blurb. Mary Cosby, it says, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, salary exposed. Find out how much she gave up by skipping the reunion and who will make the most in season 3. Okay, it said Mary Cosby didn't give up a lot of money when she decided to skip last week's The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion taping for season 2. At least in the grand scheme of things, okay? According to a new report, Mary and the rest of the women of the show, including Heather, Jen, Meredith, and Lisa Barlow, and Whitney Rose, didn't make a whole lot for season 2. And they said newbie Jenny, which I really like her too, made even less. So when it came time to potentially be faced, and this is Mary with allegations of racism and running a cult, it was pretty easy for her to make that decision to skip. So on January 9th, and a good blogger here, Tamara Tattles, confirmed via an unnamed source that Mary was making just $6,000 per episode for her part on the second installment of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which means she would have been paid just $18,000 for the 3-part reunion. Well, they're using that word just very lightly. Just in terms of Real Housewives franchise, maybe that's not a lot, but just in a standard world, $6,000 for a day of work is pretty nice, okay? And to do 3 days of work for a 3-part reunion and get $18,000, Not bad. I waited for the day where I make $6,000 in one day. That day has not arrived yet. So that's why I'm saying those numbers are relative to what? It's relative to who you are, how much you're used to making, and where you stand in your finances. So most of these housewives, and this is the reason why Andy started the show, is because he was going to show us how people live behind the gates. These were all supposed to be affluent people who had tons of money, and we was just going to get to see elaborate lifestyles that we would not really see unless we was part of that community and those lifestyles, right? So I'm saying to myself, why would someone who has tons of money, and Mary always says how she can't help it, she was born into money, she has a lot of money, why would you? Because they also said they work hours. The footage we see is chopped up from hours and hours of footage. So why would one work hours? Have their whole life exposed to the world. They sign contracts where nothing is off limits, and you have a ton of money and you would sign a contract where you're only going to make $6,000 per episode. And I'm saying, for someone who is supposed to be so affluent and rich, $6,000 is a pocketbook. So I can't imagine why you would sign your life away for $6,000 if you had a lot of money. Now, on the flip side, I remember I used to watch all the time, like Black Ink. One of the people from Black Ink said that when they approached her to do the show, she was literally working in the department store Macy's. I could understand how you would go ahead and and I don't know how much she was getting on to do Black Ink, that reality show, but let's just say they even said you're going to get $1,000 a day. I could wholeheartedly see that how you would sign up for $1,000 a day. You go from working in Macy's, and she was saying she was barely paying her bills, to being on this show, getting tons of opportunity, and let's just say they was giving her $1,000 an episode. She won in that case. But I can't see how a Real Housewife who is supposed to be so rich is winning by getting $6,000 per episode, and you got to expose literally your whole life, your family life, your kids, and all of that. So it says she did not show, and her attorney told Shed Media that she wants to receive her final paychecks. So when she says her final paychecks, are we talking about the $18,000 that she should be getting from the reunion? Or are we talking about she didn't get paid for her last few episodes that she did? I don't know. It's not really clear here, right? And so they say she wanted her final paychecks ASAP, seemingly signaling the end to her participation on the series. Well, if you don't show up for work, and this is work at the end of the day, usually you can potentially be fired. So she didn't show up. Whether she want to call it quit or fired, doesn't really matter. It's almost working like they're both in the same, right? So she wanted her paychecks ASAP. An insider told the outlet. People at both the network and production company level believe she is upset about a bad edit. Now let's talk about bad edit, because a lot of them said, they get, a lot of these reality stars, they get so mad. When they edit me, the way they edit me, it seemed like, I was a drunk. The way they edit me, it seems like I was being so mean. The way they edit me, it seems like I was being the aggressor. And I get how maybe they can chop things up to make it seem a certain way and twist up your words. But if you don't give them the footage, if you didn't say, Mary, in Mary's case, that someone's eyes look slanted, they can't edit it to make it seem like you said something you didn't say. So bad edit, Mary, you would need to give us more information. But this is what the production company and the network believes she is so pissed about. But I truly believe that she's more pissed about the little crumblings that are going around about her possibly or allegedly running a cult, and also that, people are saying, like, look, what you said about her eyes, about Jenny's eyes, is dead wrong. and you know it, but she never wanted to admit to it. Okay, so so people have both. I told you that piece, right? So they're going to wire her $6,000 per episode and leave her be. And this was a quote from one of the executives. They said, "Bye, Mary," because they're probably sick of Mary just as well as her being sick of them. And it says, although Mary hasn't actually confirmed her exit from the show publicly, she did hint she quit on Twitter when she liked the tweet that someone else wrote. So someone wrote a tweet. How can you fire someone who quit? If Mary doesn't show up, obviously that's what her intentions are, that she quit. And she liked that tweet. But Mary then shared a series of quotes on her Instagram page before ultimately deleting them. So she put it up. They kill me when they put stuff up and then they delete it. Don't punk out. You put it up. And once you put it up, trust and believe there's someone in this world that already captured it and saved it, and they're going to share it. So here's what she put up. TV watching lowers your IQ and it increases rudeness too. Reality TV is junk food for our brain. And in the same way that junk food rots our teeth and makes us sick, bad reality TV rots our brain and makes us rude, says Dr. Marsha, a psychiatrist, coach, and professional speaker. That was her first message, okay? Then in her second one, she quoted, reality shows have negative impact on our children in more ways than one. These shows focus on bullying, aggressive behavior, and unhealthy competition, and our kids often tend to confuse reality TV with the real world. So, according to Tamara Tattle's report, cast members of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City are not paid nearly as much as those who are featured on the earlier franchise like Orange County, Atlanta, and New York City. Still, their overall yearly salary reported is $114,000, which isn't too bad. And like I said, that isn't bad, but the amount of stuff you have to give up for that $114,000. Whoa, them being all in your business, exposing your whole life, constantly following with cameras. I'm gonna need a little bit more. The insider went on to confirm Jenny made $2,000 per episode. Is it worth it? Episode of the season episode $2,000 per episode of season 2. Her first season on the series, before quoting what appeared to be another insider who said that the ladies were paid $6,500, not $6,000 for season 2, which would bring up their yearly salary total to $123,500 and their reunion total to $19,500. Mary and the rest of the cast signed a 5-year deal, limiting their increases until it ends. And that's another telltale sign right there. That's what, first of all, a lot of recording artists, when they started out, they got ripped off so bad because they signed these really long deals. And then what happens is the first year, they're a major hit and they want to renegotiate because they know their worth, but it's too late. Now they're stuck in this 5-year bad deal. And that's what happened with these ladies on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. When you sign a long deal like that and then everybody loves you and you're a hit, now you're going to have trouble trying to renegotiate so that you can get what you're worth. If I were to come in, and I know probably why they signed it, because they're thinking to themselves, you know what? I'm not going to be one of those that come on and then they fire me the next season. I know if I sign this 5-year deal, at the very least, I will have 5 seasons. But see, me, know your worth and take a chance. Bet on yourself. Tell them, no, give me a 1-year contract. And then if you want me the next season, we'll renegotiate. I'll take my chance. I'll tell you one of the smartest housewives ever, whether you like her or not. And that is Bethany Frankel. In that book, Not All Diamonds and Rose, she said that her first season of The Real Housewives of New York, she only made $7,000, but she did not allow them to attach any claim to her brand Skinny Girl. And now you see she's sitting on racks and racks and racks and racks of money, okay? She's worth millions. Anybody else that goes on a franchise and they have their own little brand or their own little thing they want to promote, Bravo takes a piece of that pie. Bravo is just straight pimping. But Beverly Frankel, she took a lesser salary and it paid off for her in the end. So sometimes you got to do a little less to get a little more at the end game. And so when anybody wants you to sign a 5-year contract, one, they probably see and know your worth more than you do. And two, they know that once you become a hit, they're still going to get you at the bottom dollar, cheap, low price. And that's what's happened to these ladies here when you sign a 5-year deal. So let me just continue. So it says Mary and the rest of the cast signed a 5-year deal, limiting their increases until it ends. And that sucks. So even if that show became a big hit, it's like you're still going to get this little salary for 5 years to come. They made $2,000 per episode for season 1. Then they all got thank you bonuses in the form of a renegotiated salary of $6,500 per episode for season 2. So, well, at least they was nice. If they all only made $2,000 the first season and they renegotiated, that was nice because they didn't have Bravo and the whole team didn't have to do that. Episode for season 2 as opposed to a 10% increase the source shared. They will receive increases for season 3 based on their contributions to the series. So again, it's like the Hunger Games, and that's why I guess so many of them fight to be, the biggest one on the show because they want that money. As for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 3, the insider went on to say that Jen, who is in the midst of a telemarketing scheme that could result in decades behind bars, and Meredith will allegedly make more than the other woman. So Jen and Meredith are going to be the top runners, making the most cash. Expect Jen Shaw and Meredith to reach 9 to 10K range, and the others to get just 10%. The newbie will probably only get 10% also in order to keep production costs down. And that's what the insider explained. So guys, there it is. Let me give you my take on the entire situation. There are a lot of lessons to learn in this thing. Listen, would I say never do a reality show? I won't say ever. If somebody comes to you and you're making $10 an hour and they're offering you $1,000 per day, hey, go for it. If you are just filthy rich and they're trying to lowball you at $2,000 per episode or $6,000 per day, I would say absolutely not. If you want me, pay for me, pay my worth. Hey, Kathy Hilton did it. She did 1 season as a friend of the show. And after she became the fan favorite, she refused to film until they gave her that money. And guess what? They wanted Kathy, they paid the money. And that's what all of these jobs and all of these franchises, trust me, they want to say they got to keep production costs down and all of that. But if they really want you, all of a sudden they find this till of money, they dig in it and they pay to keep you. So they threw these ladies at Salt Lake City a bonus. I'm happy they threw them a bonus, especially because on these shows, you're expected to dress nice. You're expected to throw some dinner parties and make it look good, make it nice, okay? And in the name of, why is her name slipping my mind right now? And I love her, Dorinda, okay, from NYC. I love her, make it nice. So you expect to throw dinner parties and make it nice. You're expected to do all of these fabulous things on the low salary of $6,000, or when they first did it, $2,000 per episode. You expect to live in a nice home, because nobody wants to sit there and watch a Real Housewives show and where we expect to see everything fabulous, and then you see somebody just not being fabulous. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to miss out on a good reunion by not having Mary come and, answer some questions. I'm still going to tune into the reunion. I'm glad these ladies got somewhat of a raise, and they should really demand more That's if anybody, I don't know what the ratings are like for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because really this was my first season watching while it was on, and I had to back up and on demand and watch the previous season. So guys, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Would you do a reality show if they was offering you $2,000 per episode? Would you do it if they was offering you $6,000 or $6,500? I mean, it depends. And remember, they're not working the whole year. So to get this salary for half a year or however long they work, and then to be able to still have opportunities to do other things, if you factored all of that in, maybe it's worth it to you at that point. I don't know. But guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. Chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back, and I'll see you in the next video.